Today we are going to study on the topic semiotics, and it is very closely linked to syntax or semantics. That's a question you have to answer. Semiotics is actually very close to fill in the blank. If you've gone through my previous lectures, then you will know what is the answer. Semiotics, also called semiotic studies, is the study of sign process, semiosis, which is any form of activity, conduct, or any process that involves signs. Now, signs not as you understand them. I'll make it very clear what signs refer to, including the production of meaning. A sign is anything. A sign is anything that communicates a meaning that is not the sign itself to the interpreter of the sign. The meaning can be intentional, such as a word uttered with a specific meaning, or unintentional, such as a symptom being a sign of a particular medical condition. Signs can communicate through any of the senses: visual, auditory, tactile, olfactory, nose related, or gustatory, gut related. Okay, now the entire confusion arises because of the word sign, and semiosis or semiotics is the study of sign process. How do signs get formulated in our brain? Suppose there is coffee being made in the next room. How do you get to know that it is coffee, it's not tea? Your olfactory senses, those related to the nose, smell, your olfactory senses make you realize through the smell wafting of the coffee beans that there is coffee being made. So the sign in your head, the sign is the image that gets formulated within the brain of the individual through various senses. Tactile is touch related. So sometimes some people unwittingly do not feel safe to you. Their touch also incurs a lot of recoil, because within the sign system of your brain, the sign that is created through their touch is the sign of alarm, discomfort, dislike, and you can never pinpoint exactly what it is about them that you dislike, but there it is, the sign is there. So semiotics is the study of the sign processes in our brain which are arising through all of our senses of being. Okay, now sign processes can also be very experience or perception related. For example, all of you must be fond of ice cream, but there must be some of you who must have had terrible incidents related to ice cream. I remember I had one where I had those ice candies as a child, school child, just got out of school and had the ice candy, and I was sick for days. Until date, whenever I see the ice candy ice cream, the sign that it creates in my brain is of acute sickness. So I prefer not having that ice cream, and I would go for other milk-based ice creams than ice candies. So your sign procedures being created in your body are quite related to your sense of perception and experiences as well. Therefore, for no two people can the sign process formation in their brain be absolutely the same. So even if I say the word cat, the image in your mind is that of a cat, but each one of you might think of different types of cats based on your perception. Semiotics is just the study of these kind of procedures within our brain. Let us go through the last line that we read. Signs can communicate through any of the senses: visual, sight related, auditory, sound related, tactile, touch related, olfactory, are smell related, and gustatory is taste related. The semiotic tradition explores the study of signs and symbols as a significant part of communication. Unlike linguistics, Semiotics also studies non-linguistic sign systems, gestures, hand gestures, eye gestures, movements. Semiotics also studies non-linguistic sign systems. Semiotics include the study of signs and sign processes, indication, designation, likeliness, analogy, allegory, metonymy, metaphor, symbolism, signification, and communication. So the study of sign and sign processes, it also includes indication, designation, likeliness, communication. All these aspects of language are studied within semiotics. Semiotics is frequently seen as having important anthropological, human history related, anthropological and sociological dimensions. For example, the Italian semiotician and novelist Umberto Eco proposed that every cultural phenomena may be studied as communication. Some semioticians focus on the logical dimensions of the science. They examine areas belonging also to the life sciences, biology, such as how organisms make predictions about and adapt to their semiotic niche in the world. In general, semiotic theories take signs or sign systems as the object of their study. How communication takes place through these various signs which get formulated within our brain, based on which we further improve or further communicate to other individuals as much as to our own selves. The communication of information in living organisms is covered in biosemiotics, including zoosemiotics and cytosemiotics. So there is semiotics, obviously, see syntax, semantics, semiosis, they branch into several other subfields of study as well. In general, you have to remember that semiosis or semiotics is the study of sign processes. Semiotics is not to be confused with a Saussurian tradition called semiology, which is a subset of semiotics. So semiotics does not mean semiology. Semiology is a part of semiotics. The importance of signs and signification. I'm not saying science, I'm saying signs, S-I-G-N-S, the study of signs. The importance of signs and signification. Signification is the process through which the signs get formulated within our head. Has been recognized throughout much of history of philosophy and in psychology as well. The term derives from the Greek word signs, semiotokos, observant of signs. For the Greeks, signs occurred in the world of nature and symbols in the world of culture. As such, Plato and Aristotle explored the relationship between signs and the world. So it's a Greek word. It comes from the word semiotikos, and semiotics, basically the study of signs, is considered very cultural and very nature oriented. Now Greeks attributed to most of their gods a lot of natural powers, and they would see these natural powers as signs from those very respective gods. So since time started civilization, philosophers have been concerned with the concept of signs and the concept of symbols and their value in each and every cultural era. It would not be until Augustine of Hippo that the nature of the sign would be considered within a conventional system. A conventional system would be a system of rules and regulations where a study of signs is seen like a science in itself. Augustine introduced a thematic proposal for uniting the two under the notion of sign, signum, as transcending the nature-culture divide and identifying symbols as no more than a species of signum be formally proposed. So it was Augustine of Hippo who gave sign the overarching hierarchy, and within signs comes the aspect of symbology. These theories have had a lasting effect in Western philosophy, especially through scholastic philosophy. Scholastic philosophy, that which is under academicians to be studied and analyzed. We will be continuing with the lecture on semiotics in the next class.